Hello and welcome to Budweiser Gardens for yet another National Basketball League of Canada game. Tonight, the London Lightning take on the Brampton A's in Game 3 of their Central Division Series. Good evening, my name is Marty Thompson. I'm joined as always by Chris Croucher and Bill Ovens for our pre-game segment before we get underway here for Game 3. Guys, I guess your thoughts on the first two games?
Well, I went statistics. I'm the statistics guy, right? I went through all the statistics. I've looked at these two games, and I have no idea what's going on. They're so even that the smallest difference in any one situation tips the momentum the other team's way. What do you think?
Well, there's even such a contrast just between Game 1 and Game 2 themselves. Game 1, you've got 20-point lead for Brampton. Game 2, 20-point lead for London. So we really don't know what we're going to get into. London's got to go out there. And we saw in Game 1, they played a little bit scared after they committed some early turnovers. They can't really let themselves get into that. They have to allow themselves, when they make a mistake, to sort of play through it. And that's what they did well in Game 2. This is a veteran team. They know how to win. They've done it before. Something Brampton maybe doesn't have.
We touched on it, but let's get into Game 1. We're going to do Game 1 and Game 2. As Chris mentioned, completely different. I guess your thoughts on Game 1?
I really didn't understand. When I was watching the game, I didn't see fear, but I saw lots of tentativeness. And it could be the same thing. It's just, they didn't want to make the move. They took the extra amount of time to look, and then the pass is telegraphed.
You're talking about London, of course.
London, of course. They were just playing terrible in Game 1. I thought, oh, this is going to be a short season for these guys because they were playing dumb. Dumb? Would you call it dumb?
They just made some silly plays. I think they sort of got caught trying to make the big play. Even when they didn't really need to, they could have made a simple pass and opened up a simple shot. But instead, they were trying to set a guy up for some flying jam or something.
Sometimes they made the extra pass they really didn't need to.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes every basket, no matter if it's a dunk or a long range two, it's still 2 points. So you don't necessarily need to make the highlight reel to get the job done.
And for those who didn't know, so Game 1 was a 105-85 Brampton win. Game 2, 106-91 London win. Brent Jennings was important in that game. I know, Chris, you want to talk a bit about that. We'll start with you, Bill. What did you take from Game 2?
I took from Game 2 that London finally got it figured out, that the way to beat Brampton is to play at a tempo that Brampton isn't comfortable with. And they lost Mills, and everybody, this is a big loss when London lost Mills, but it's been replaced by Barrett effectively, and Barrett is fast, and they up the tempo, play smart. It could be a blessing in disguise.
Well, I think that's one of the best things London have found in Jennings and Barrett is they provided that secondary scoring. Little only had 13 points, and Marvin Phillips, he started to get a little better as the game went on, but they started bringing over Granado whenever they had Phillips up against Johnson. They bring over Granado for the double team. Those are two big guys for Phillips to deal with. When that happened, they would have Barrett and Jennings start to sort of take over the offense, and Brampton didn't really have an answer. The length and athleticism of those two players just gave them fits.
And those first two games, perimeter shooting was very important for the Brampton A's, sort of living and dying with it. I know you guys watched both those games and obviously big basketball minds, but Brampton really going to that distance two ball in Game 1, and luckily it worked out for them, but Game 2 was a different story.
Oh, they fell in love in the third quarter. Halfway through the third quarter, Brampton, the game's not out of hand. It's close to like 11 points or something. And London has 7 team fouls. So I'm sitting back as a London fan thinking, oh, this is not good. London's going to have about 4 or 5 more fouls this quarter. Guys are going to be tired. But Brampton all of a sudden stopped and started hitting mid-range twos. And I was pleased, but I couldn't figure it out. Did you?
Well, I think the most important thing for London is the way they played defensively. We know that Brampton wants to shoot. They have a ton of shooters who love to shoot the ball. So what they would do is, as soon as they saw a guy behind the three-point line, they would pretty much charge him. And then, of course, you've got the attacking defender now. What they would do is go for a cut, and then whoever's defending would just drop right back and give them that long range too. And you know Brampton's shooters are going to take that shot.
And I think with Barrett and Jennings, we have better foot speed for rotation in the key. I think London could play a faster base defense.
The other big one for me was they kept trying to do a pick and roll with Akeem Scott and Cavell Johnson. London's simply too athletic. Brent Jennings or Marvin Phillips picked that off almost every time.
National anthem coming up here from Budweiser Gardens, Game 3 between London and Brampton. Game 3 between London and Brampton, the series that we knew was going to happen for a long, long time, and those first 2 games really didn't disappoint in terms of what we were expecting. We were expecting a close game, or a close series, I should say, and really, they were just trading shots in Game 1 and Game 2.
Well, these are both high-scoring teams. And we knew Brampton coming in loves offense. They love the three-point shot. They're all about that efficiency. That's why it was so shocking to me, because even in Game 1 when they won, they really settled for that long-range 2 a lot. And I think that's just a great move by Coach Knox there to recognize that, if they want to keep shooting those shots, sure, they're going to win a game like they did in Game 1. But in Game 2, they shot themselves out of that with that long-range 2. And Coach Knox did a good job of saying, hey, if you want to beat us with these very low-efficiency shots, go ahead, because you're not going to win 3 out of 5 games doing that. So I think we're going to see a completely different Brampton team coming out here, because there's no way Coach Magley came out of Game 2 thinking that those shots were okay.
And in the same vein, especially in Game 1 when London kept going to Brent Jennings, had 19 shots total, and Brampton was really just try to beat us with Brent Jennings, and we're seeing that Jennings is going to be back in the lineup tonight. He's going to be an integral part of this London Lightning team.
Well, it really speaks to the development of Brent Jennings' game. He's a younger guy, and he's really starting to add that jump shot to his arsenal. He's still working the kinks out in it. It's not a perfect shot by any means now, but it's almost like seeing Emmanuel Little, how I've been saying most of the season long. Imagine if he had a jumper. If Jennings starts to make that shot consistently, that's the type of player we're going to talk about, because he has just as much cutting ability as Little. But if he's able to knock down the jumper too, you have, how do you defend that?
Yeah.
If you play him tight, he's going to just blow right by you, and if you play him loose, he's going to shoot it right over your head. So Brent Jennings' development has been one of the most impressive things in this Lightning season.
Starting lineup coming for the Brampton A's. Starting lineup for the Brampton A's, you've got Akeem Scott, Kyle Johnson, Bryson Johnson, Cavell Johnson, and Tom Granado. Cavell Johnson was the guy that we queued up to be big in this series, largely ineffective in the first 2 games.
Well, it's really shocking. You look at his season stats, he averaged nearly a double-double. He was getting around 8 rebounds a game. He was getting around 13 points a game. You thought coming into this series he'd be an absolute beast for the Brampton A's. He's been held pretty much ineffective. His series high right now is only 5 points and 4 rebounds. That's an average of 4.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds. This is a guy who's supposedly the star for this team. I don't think anyone would have watched a Brampton A's game in the regular season and not thought that this was Cavell Johnson's team. So he's a guy that needs to get going. Maybe he's fighting an injury and we don't know, because his minutes have also been reduced, but the other issue with him is he hasn't really been defending Marvin Phillips as well as we thought he would either, and this is the former Defensive Player of the Year. Phillips in his own right is a former MVP, but we've seen them battle all year long, including last year too for half of that season. So that's why it's really shocking to me. Just we haven't seen the best of Cavell yet.
And while we're talking about Marvin Phillips, I know Cavell has really just been on him, and then they've been double teaming him as well. What did we see in the first 2 games that you could sort of let our listeners know to look out for in this game? I know they were working with some wing players trying to double team him for parts of Game 1.
Well, yeah, in Game 1, whenever Marvin had the ball down low, they would bring over the wing for the double team, but Marvin's too athletic, and again, Cavell's been having his struggles right now, so Marvin was able to just sort of bully the wing and Cavell. Now for the Lightning, whenever Marvin gets the ball down low, it's been Granado who's been coming over to help with the double team, but Granado can't play the whole game. So if Marvin gets the ball, keep an eye on who comes over to provide the help defense, because that could be a big part of this game.
Well, we've got Tom Granado out there as well. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I know he's had some massive games here, and he's just a big body, 6'10". I think he's 260 pounds. He's a guy to look out for as well.
Well, he's a very large presence, and the London doesn't really have a true center. And that's one of the things, actually, if they are able to win this series, is going into the next round against a team like Windsor with DeAndre Thomas, a team like Halifax with Liam McMorrow and Kevin Young, and a team like the Island Storm with Nick Evans. I wonder if London's going to be able to handle those guys down low. They've got Lazaire, he's good, he's tall, but he's not exactly bulky, and Phillips has usually had to do Yauman's work down there to do it. So we're going to have to look and see how Granado can do. Right now, Granado isn't a big scoring guy, so it hasn't been too much of an issue, but keep an eye on that going forward.
Sefton Barrett versus Akeem Ellis, that's going to be another big matchup. Two bench players. They had an amazing last couple of games.
Well, Ellis in the head-to-head against the London Lightning throughout the regular season has been almost kryptonite. He's averaging 16.5 points per game whenever he's up against the Lightning. However, in this series, specifically Game 2, he had his 16 points in Game 1, and one of the changes that Coach Knox made was Sefton Barrett pretty much followed Akeem Ellis around the court. And Barrett's a perfect matchup for that because their size is very similar, but I think Barrett has just a bit more quickness.
All right, starting lineup coming up here for the hometown London Lightning. All right, starting lineup here from Carlos Knox. You've got Brent Jennings, Marvin Phillips, Al Stewart, you got Mims and Jennings as well. What do London need to do?
Well, I like a lot of what they did in Game 2. They forced the long-range twos. And with a team that has that shooter's mentality like Brampton, I think that's exactly what London has to come out here and do again. I thought Knox did one of the best coaching performances I've seen in this league in that Game 2, so big props to him. What Brampton needs to do is get some sort of an interior presence because there is absolutely none so far in this series. They got completely out-rebounded, and that becomes an even more magnified problem when you look at the struggles Cavell Johnson has had. So they need to get anything going on the inside because otherwise London's completely free to just worry about the jumpers. They become one-dimensional without some sort of interior scoring. I think it's up to guys like Akeem Ellis to get down low and to play a little more physical, even though it's not necessarily their games, if Brampton wants to come out here and come out strong.
Game 3 and Game 4 is going to be a grind for these players. They're playing this one tonight. Then Game 4 goes tomorrow at 2 p.m. here at Budweiser Gardens. So back-to-back games, not a whole lot of rest in between. Game 5, if necessary, will go on Saturday in Brampton. But it's going to be these two games. I mean, this series could be over in no less than 20 hours, which is insane to think about considering how close these teams have been all regular season, and especially in Game 1 and 2. It's just swung in opposite directions.
Well, it's been an absolutely crazy series. First two were a bit of a blowout for either side here, hoping for a bit of a closer one. But we know these teams are capable of it. If you saw the playoffs last year, if you saw any regular season matchup between these teams, they're very evenly matched. It's just a matter of who's going to make their shots.
London in white, Brampton in red. London wearing a special Tim Hortons Children Foundation's jerseys, which would be auctioned off after the game. Marvin Phillips lining up against Cavell Johnson here for the tip-off. Game 3 here at Budweiser Gardens. We are underway. Akeem Scott takes it up for the Brampton A's. Again, they're in red. London is in white. And the A's have possession. Bryson Johnson to Akeem Scott. Cuts underneath. There's Alvin Mims there playing defense. Bell Johnson to Granado. And it's tipped out. London get possession.
I do like for the A's that they are looking inside, but you got to make your shot when you're in close like that.
Al Stewart had a great game too. He chips it in here to Elvin Mims, playing his 20th playoff game for the London Lightning. Marvin Phillips takes it up. Granado on the rebound. Keem Scott. And that's looking good for Kyle Johnson. First 2 points of the game.
This is already a nice start for Brampton. They're not afraid to attack the rim, something they didn't really do in game 2.
Cavell Johnson up against Marvin Phillips. Keep in mind, Phillips not being double teamed, although he's pretty far away from the rim. There's the foul.
Well, I think in this game, Brampton's going for more of the strategy. They've planted Tom Granado down low. So rather than coming out and providing the double team, he's just giving help in case Cavell gets beat.
Marvin Phillips at the line. And can't get that first shot as Budweiser Gardens remain standing.
Gotta make your free throws. We should just have like a sound clip ready to play, so whenever that happens.
Right. Yeah, so you don't have to talk as much. Marvin Phillips gets that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you talking. I mean, I'm sure you would enjoy a break. 2-1, Brampton have the lead. They have the ball. We're 1 minute into this first quarter. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth here. Kyle Johnson on the fade, and it's good.
Just feed him the ball right now. Kyle Johnson's feeling it so far.
Emmanuel Little. He's being double teamed there. Al Stewart takes it up. Oh, great shot from Al Stewart.
Al Stewart, the mouse in the house, able to get that little floater to go. He's had a really great series, not necessarily stats-wise, but he's controlled the flow of the game very well. That's exactly why you bring in an experienced point guard like him this year.
And I know we talked a bit about it off camera, but Al Stewart really set the tone in that second game of the series. Didn't do a whole lot in terms of stats, but he was sort of the pacemaker for this team.
Well, his 4 points might have been the most dominating 4-point performance I think I've ever seen, because he just completely took the breath out of the arena during that third quarter when Brampton was starting to try and make a run to come back.
Brent Jennings on the fade. Tipped around, and here comes Brampton.
Naturally, I say he's developing a jumper, so it's going to go cold now.
Kyle Johnson! The hot hand continues.
Give that man the ball. He's got all 6 points right now for Brampton. Great start for Kyle Johnson.
Kyle Johnson 6, London 3. And it falls out off of Emmanuel Little. Brampton get possession, 9:48 left in the first quarter.
Just going to go on a hunch, but I think Kyle Johnson might get the ball here.
Cavell Johnson. Granado just to his right. He's looking at Kyle Johnson. He's number 5. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Distance 3. It's good from Bryson Johnson.
That was almost half court. That's a crazy shot. Brampton A's, this is exactly the kind of start you want. They've been able to get most of their shots, and even the ones they don't like, they're somehow able to drain.
9-3. Brampton doing well so far. London just trying to match. Little takes the bump and won't get the shot to go.
Great veteran play from Little to get his man off his feet.
Little will go to the line. Brampton shooting 75% so far. 3 for 4. Of course, for that. Sorry, my apologies. I believe I should read 3 for 5. Yes. There you go. Little at the line, and it's good. So it should read 4 for 6.
You know, the other reason I like this play from Little here is that it slows the game down a bit. This is a Brampton team that likes to sort of get flying. And this sort of grounds the A's offense just a little bit. Change momentum ever so slightly. We'll see how Brampton answers to this.
Clunks. And they're Little and jump ball. Looks like it's going to go London way. Hard to see
Brampton,
the arrow from up here.
Oh, lightning ball.
It will go London way.
I was right the first time.
Little on the inbound, 23 seconds on the shot clock, 9 minutes to go in the first. Jennings, and they're going to say stepped out of bounds.
Tough luck, because he had his defender about as airborne as I've ever seen a guy. Either he was trying to swat that into the 4th row, or he was going to end up with a foul on his record.
Keem Scott moves it across, the Jamaican national team player. Cavell Johnson, finds Granado, and he'll get it to go. He'll take a trip to the line. Amazing play from Thomas Granado and a great pass from Cavell Johnson.
They're not going to give him the continuation.
Oh,
on
okay,
that.
sorry. My apologies on that. Bryson Johnson with it. Zakeem Scott out of Cavell Johnson.
You had your hot hand open from 3 there. You got to make that pass.
And Cavell airballs there. Stewart. Now back to Stewart. 8:30 on the clock. Foul. And it looks like it might go against Manuel. Oh, it's going to go against the A's and Kyle Johnson. So while Kyle Johnson has been hot from the floor, that's his second foul so far this game. 8.5 left in the first. 14 seconds of the shot clock here for London. Jennings in the corner, loses possession.
It's not exactly what you look for from John Hart. He was subbed in pretty early here. I'm thinking Knox wants to get some threes of their own on the board, see if they can eliminate this 5-point lead very quickly.
Scott. Bryson Johnson drained a 3 from about that distance before. Granado can't get that to go. 9-4, 8 minutes to go in the first.
Yo, London has Kyle Johnson as the defender on. Yeah, they're attacking Johnson now.
He dishes it long as see Al Stewart chipping it, and they're definitely going to call a foul on Marvin Phillips there.
They're really scared of Marvin Phillips' play. You can tell the way 3 different players collapsed on Phillips for that. I liked that they went to Emmanuel Little, though, and I think they should keep going to him. Kyle Johnson's got 2 fouls. He's the hot hand, and he's stuck defending the much bigger Emmanuel Little. That's a size mismatch.
Marvin Phillips at the line taking London's 5th and 6th shots from the free throw line so far this game. And we're just about 4 minutes into the first quarter. Scott moves it across for Brampton. 9-6. Lead still intact for the A's. Kyle Johnson. Cavell Johnson right in front of him there. Bit of space for Kyle. Off to Cavell Johnson. Jumper. No good.
And that's one of the problems Cavell's had this series is he's settled for that jumper far too often. He had Little, who at 6'5", is a much shorter player. He's got to attack that.
And that's going to be another foul. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Marvin Phillips go to the line again. Meantime, London making some changes. Looks like Ed Horton is coming in to replace Al Stewart. Meantime, we've got Thomas Granado coming out of the game. And it looks like that might be Akeem Ellis on the far side.
I think that's Theo Davis.
I believe that is Theo Davis, you're right.
Pardon me, that might be Marquez Oliver. Is that 21? Yeah.
It is.
Nope, Davis.
Hard to see the numbers, they're pretty far away.
It's Davis.
Keem Scott, hard to get his number wrong, number 1. Kyle Johnson, number 5. He's someone you want to look out for this game, and he can't get that to go, no foul. And here comes Ed Horton.
London's forcing some very difficult shots out of the Brampton A's. They're getting their defensive going, a lot like game 2.
Long shot, off the backboard and out.
Don't like that shot from Marvin. There was plenty of time on the shot clock.
Bryson Johnson takes the shot, doesn't go.
I know Johnson missed that one, but you just saw him shoot from half court earlier in this game. You can't give him space on the 3-point line like that.
Brampton 9, London 8, 6.5 left in the first. Ed Horton to Mims, top of the key, no good.
That's his shot too. I like that London's able to get what they want. They aren't really settling for anything, but Mims has to make that.
Cavell Johnson ordering his players to move around a bit. Oh, finds Theo Davis, and that's in.
I like how Mims maybe trying to get away with a goaltend there.
11-8. Brampton extend their lead here. Oh, Ed Horton on the charge. Oh, dishes it to the corner to John Hart.
Oh,
no good.
That was a beautiful play too. Unfortunate that Hart couldn't connect.
Scott. Got Theo Davis in front of him. Cavell Johnson. Marvin Phillips up against him again. Not double teaming Cavell Johnson, but he misses another shot. I mean, he's
beautiful.
What a pass to John Hart. And
that's not a goaltend?
That's a block from Cavell Johnson. And Akeem Scott with a 3 to answer back. Just rubs salt in the wounds for London Lightning fans here.
That's a momentum swinging block right there from Cavell Johnson. And Akeem Scott able to knock it down. Building just got a lot quieter after that.
14-8 and a foul. 5 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first quarter, so here's the media timeout. Brampton off to a good start, and you know we opened the show talking about that perimeter shooting from Brampton, how it didn't really work in game 2, worked well in game 1 eventually. What's developed here in the third quarter when it comes to that?
Well, I love what Brampton's doing on offense right now. We talked about how they can't settle for those long-range twos, and other than those 2 misses from Cavell, we haven't really seen that. They've been attacking the hoop with authority, and they're actually getting it. London's playing all right on the interior, so it's just a matter of can Brampton keep making that shot. If they start making threes, though, the spacing that will provide, and we've even saw that after that Bryce Johnson 3, Brampton was able to get 2 inside plays right away because of the spacing that the three-pointers can provide. So if Brampton starts making those three-pointers, that interior that they've been attacking and already having success with is going to become a floodgate.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at London Lightning stats, only 8 points. They've actually shot 14%. They've gone 1 for 7, 6 points coming from the free throw line. Got to be concerning for Carlos Knox. You know, are Brampton just playing really solid D to start?
Their shooting's cold. They're actually doing a good job of getting their shots, but they haven't been able to connect, and we've seen a lot of those misses come around the hoop, and those are shots they need to start making, because strategy-wise, I like it, but if you're not making the shot, I don't know if you want to try something else just yet, because that would be the way I would identify to beat Brampton. I would keep attacking it and see what happens, because at the very least, we've seen a couple of guys on the A's already take fouls. They've got 5 fouls in this quarter already. Those are the 4 of the 5 starters have fouls against them right now. So again, I would keep attacking, see if you can get them in some foul trouble. We've seen some of the bench guys for the A's struggle a bit in this series. So if they can get the starters in trouble, specifically Kyle Johnson, who's already at 2, that would be big for the London Lightning.
Couple changes here from Brampton. They've got Akeem Ellis out there. That was Taishwan Edmondson who saw the ball fall out of play. You've also got Zane Johnson out there, as well as Ashton Smith. So Hosel Brampton here. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Edmondson with a great tip there. Couldn't get it to go. Hart for 3.
Too good. John Hart just able to nail that shot. He makes some of the most difficult three-pointers you'll see in this league. That's exactly what he's out there to do.
Edmondson. This is Ashton Smith. Poked out there from John Hart. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 4.5 on the game clock. Akeem Ellis puts it in, and
mismatch.
He's up against Sefton Barrett. Can't get it to go, but tipped in there from Edmondson.
Thought that was Lazaire guarding him there for a second. I was saying, heck yeah, you attack.
John Hart for 3 again. Why not?
When he gets hot, he's a fire that's impossible to put out. John Hart's so good at shooting that 3 ball.
And just like that, it's a 2-point game here. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
London's really trying to start getting some points on the boards here. Horton and Hart are their 2 3-point shooters, and Sefton Barrett discovered a 3-point stroke during the series.
They're going to call a foul against John Hart on Zane Johnson. He'll go to the line for 3.
I think Hart broke his personal bubble there. Don't know what else there was.
3 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first quarter. Al Stewart preparing to come on here for London. And he'll replace, looks like Emmanuel Little. So the former Lightning player at the line drains the first shot.
Speaking of guys who can shoot ridiculous threes, Zane Johnson, you have to cover him almost as soon as he crosses half court.
Four-point game here.
I think he shot somewhere near 90% from the free throw line, so this is almost as automatic as his 3-point shot.
Al Stewart gets things going for London. They're going to call a foul against Zane Johnson by the looks of it. 3:46, 19-14, London down. They have the ball. Ed Horton on the inbound.
I would think you saw Barrett take advantage of Ellis in the last game. We haven't seen Barrett get an offensive touch now, and it's Ellis who's guarding him, so I'm not sure why London's not really looking to that.
John Hart for 3, he misses it. Zane Johnson. Backs up.
That's a mismatch. Zane has to attack Al Stewart. Al Stewart can't hold him. Too big.
Oh, Ellis finds a space, puts it down. See him just bump into Sefton Barrett on his way back. That's, again, a matchup we highlighted, but big defensive matchup for both players. And it looks like there's another foul here. It's going to go against Ashton Smith, his first, and Brampton now over the limit. London have 3 fouls to their name. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in this first quarter.
I was actually just about to say London might want to get Mims and Phillips back in this game, and that's exactly how they're coming in. They sort of lost a bit of their defense there, and I like the fact that they're bringing Mims and Phillips in because they were providing that interior defense back in the start of this game. So by having them back in the game, hopefully they can get that defense back under control. It sort of loosened up after those substitutions.
Lazar making way, and Sefton Barrett as well. 21-15. Another good crowd on hand here at Budweiser Gardens. Again, 2 games this weekend. Game 4 will go tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll have that game as always. Ellis chips it off to Smith. And Brampton on the attack. Got Marquez Oliver with it as well. He's coming into this game. Edmondson dishes to Ellis. Somehow shoots that past Mims on that block attempt.
Mims got caught. He was a little bit too far on the inside, but he also didn't want to leave the rim unprotected. That was a good job of spacing by the Brampton A's.
Another distance shot, no good. So 24-16, Brampton keep the leads, and they're going to call a foul against Brent Jennings there.
I thought that was ball.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first. First quarter seems to be taking. Of course, Brampton already fouled out. London with 4 fouls to their name. And the refs make a call here. Quite sure what that was, but regardless, London get possession. Mims off to Al Stewart. And London wearing special Tim Hortons Children's Foundation uniforms. Be auctioned off for charity, of course. I think it might be their 4th special edition jersey this season. Alvin Mims for 2.
Just a savvy veteran. He's won an NBL championship. He knows exactly what the Lightning need to do to get back into this game.
And another foul here. And it looks like it's going to go against Al Stewart. It's now 5 fouls for London. And the foul's just adding up here. Inbound from Brampton. Has Oliver. Smith backs into Stewart. Ooh, great defense from Stewart. Nearly stripped him of the ball. Zane Johnson can't get it to go. Marquez Oliver, he can't get it either. And Ashton Smith will slow things down. Zane Johnson again. Somehow keeping possession. Minute 50 left in the first. Who's going to get it here? Marvin Phillips will. He's got John Hart to his right. Ooh, misses it. And Brampton get possession again.
Don't like that shot. There was so much time and he didn't even have the odd man.
Oh, what a pass! And a foul there. So it looks like Marquez Oliver will go to the line. Great assist from Brampton. And they draw the foul. Minute and a half left in the first. Brampton 24, London 18. Emmanuel Little coming in for John Hart. So Lightning get us a little bit bigger here. Maybe their biggest lineup out there right now, of course, save for Al Stewart. So Brampton with a big lead here in game 3.
Friendly roll.
Emmanuel Little makes the call here. Mims. Gets the ball back into the corner. Brent Jennings. No good.
Jennings knows better than take that shot.
Zane Johnson, similar shot, different result. Wow.
That's what Zane Johnson does. And we're starting to see this lead open up. Coach Knox might want to think about taking a timeout soon, or at least heading to the end of the quarter.
Brampton collect once again, and there is a foul here. Refs having a chat. Looks like Akeem Ellis might be involved there. David Magley's out, just having a listen. It's going to be a double foul against Ellis and Al Stewart as well on the London Lightning. So fouls continue to add up here in the first quarter. Smith to Akeem Ellis for 3. What?
Brampton's just got the rhythm going right now. They can make about any shot and they have the confidence to do it.
32-18. Brampton shooting the lights out from beyond the arc. Al Stewart tries to do it himself. Traveling.
And this is something we're starting to see from the London Lightning around the end of this quarter. There's too many people trying to do it themselves. The way you beat Brampton is by moving the ball around. I know they've been afraid of turnovers in the past, but they haven't really been bad for turnovers in this quarter. So I don't know why the ball stopped moving, but it's put their offense out of sync and there's no rhythm to it anymore.
Ashton Smith ushering his players around. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Smith takes it down low. This is off to Edmondson. He's knocked out of bounds.
Again, Lightning doing a good job of protecting their rim. They got to keep that up.
Mims on the inbound, 4.6 on the game clock. This is Ed Horton. 1 second left. He takes it up. He's fouled. And I believe that's going to be no basket. So Ashton Smith will take 2 shots. Or sorry, Ashton Smith, of course, committed the foul. Ed Horton will take the shots. With 0.0 on the clock, this might give Knox a bit more time to come up with what he needs to tell his London Lightning squad. And, you know, if you were Knox, what would you be telling them right now?
I like their interior defense so far. but that's about the only thing going. I feel like they're a little too committed to defending the rim. It's a lot like what I was saying in game 1. They overcommitted to not turning over the ball, and they started playing one-on-one. That's what we're starting to see on the offensive end. They're playing too much one-on-one. I just don't know why. They were doing so well moving the ball around, and that's just sort of stopped. As far as protecting the rim goes, they're doing a good job of protecting the rim, but they're forgetting to cover the three-point line. So what they're doing is, instead of playing tight at the 3, and then as soon as the guy crosses the three-point line, almost retreating, instead what they're doing is they'll either cover the 3 and let him go to the basket, or they'll retreat too early. They'll cover too much and not be able to recover when the guy takes a three-point shot. So there's a couple of adjustments. There's going to be a lot of floor burns by the end of this game. The playoff intensity is there. The Lightning just they need to get going. They know how to do it. They've got guys who have done it before, and we'll see how they come out of the break here, because Brampton's a team. They're up 12 right now. If you let them get away, you're not catching up.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to do anything really to stop the A's run and put up some points of their own. John Hart, he had those 2 big threes, but otherwise his shots have been a little iffy. I know he's 2 for 6, and that's as many shot attempts as almost the rest of the London Lightning combined. So London needs to get a little bit going.
Yeah.
There are adjustments. They don't have to completely blow up their strategy. There's just a couple of changes here and there they need to make. But Brampton's the type of team that if they find something to exploit, they'll take a 12-point lead.
One of the unusual stats that we saw in the first 2 games was the fact that Brampton only got 27 rebounds in game 2. They've got 13 to their name already, 11 defensive, only 2 offensive. I don't know if you could speak to that at all. I mean, that was really just a statistical anomaly that they only managed to get 27 rebounds last game.
Well, again, Brampton's got more of a commitment to their interior game right now, and we saw those 2 offensive rebounds they got earlier, or near the end of that quarter. And they're focused more on the inside now. They aren't settling anymore. That's one of the things, is they have a shooter's mentality. So as soon as that shooter got that open shot, even if it was a long range 2, they would take it. Now they're not taking it. If they start the cut, they aren't just going to take the long range 2. They're going to continue attacking. So they're playing a much better game in terms of being aggressive and getting what they want from it, as opposed to settling for the open shot. They're getting the shot they want.
Second quarter just about underway here at Budweiser Gardens. Brampton in red, London in white, if you're just joining us now. A's have a big lead, 32-20 here after 1 quarter of play. Scott calls Cavell Johnson down low. Granato has it up top. Cavell Johnson up against Marvin Phillips, and that's going to be a goaltend.
Mims has to stop doing that. I think that one was going to fall out.
So Cavell Johnson gets his first 2 points of the game with a little bit of help. Little. Keeps possession here. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Great play from Melvin Mims.
Strong play from Mims, and he has the quickness that even though he's giving up a lot in the height department with Tom Granato, he has long arms, and he's actually able, even though he's only 6'5" compared to Granato's 6'10", he's able to jump high enough and with those long arms compete with Granato. And then on the offensive end, his foot speed gives him an actual mismatch with Granato. He's able to get to the basket like we saw there. And Granato is a bit foul prone, so Mims could take advantage of that.
Mims gets the bonus shot, 34-23, 11:15 on the clock. Cavell Johnson, Ed Horton up against him. That's an interesting matchup. Cavell drains.
I'm okay with him taking that shot, but he had the 6'2" Ed Horton. You got to attack that.
Little possession here. It's an off. Oof. Ed Horton goes to ground, gets back up, and looks like he'll take a trip to the line here.
You know, one of the reasons I've been saying I don't want London to change too much about their defense, Brampton's shooting 57% right now. It's unrealistic to think that they're going to keep that going. London's just got to wait for them to get cold. Don't overreact to the fact that they're shooting 57%. It hasn't been easy shots they're making.
36-24. Just want to have a chat. Looks like he's pointing in the corner there. Ed Horton at the line. Misses that one. Once again, Akeem Scott brings it across. 14 points in 20 minutes in game 2 for Akeem Scott as he rolls in behind Cavell Johnson on the shot. Granado on the rebound and a great putback.
There's the floor burns.
And all 4 Brampton players coming over there. That was Akeem Scott going to ground. He's right back up. Enrico Di Loreto comes into the game. Replaces Brent Jennings. That's an interesting sub from Carlos Knox. You don't usually see Di Loreto this early in a game. For one, I know that Bill was really big on him.
Well, Bill and I were talking about this before the game, and we were saying, he was telling me why Di Loreto's in, Bill being a former coach himself. And I was wondering why Di Loreto, who hasn't really played in this series, was in the game, and Bill said it perfectly. He's safe. And he, in that entire game 2, when he got some more extended playing time, he didn't do anything like lights out. He didn't blow you away, but he didn't do anything stupid. And that's why Di Loreto's in this game. He's seen some plays he doesn't like, such as that, box out. But he's seen stuff like that, and he's saying, I need someone to just sort of, play neutral.
Mm-hmm. And, and all credit to Di Loreto who gets the ball here. I mean, he's a hard worker, but again, even Bill mentioned it, he's sort of a fringe player, and you don't want to make those mistakes, right? As we see Alvin Mims draining there from the corner, 40-26. Mims gives it back to Di Loreto, but you're right, just sort of a safe player, and he can shoot a 3 too. He might need to do some of that.
Broke former Lightning Greg Cermak's record at the University of Windsor for career points.
Scott. Oh, remember this guy? Bryson Johnson hangs on the 3. Drained a clutch 3 in that first quarter, if you can call it clutch. Di Loreto steps over.
No blocking foul.
Can't get it to go. Bryson Johnson brings it across. Bounce pass to Scott. Oh, great shots, and Marvin Phillips couldn't do anything there.
And this is where the A's were starting to get cold. They stuck with their defensive system.
Mims off to Ed Horton and get things set up. 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Ed Horton up to Mims. And interception there.
A bit too fancy there.
Granado down low. Ooh. And it'll fall out off of London. So Granado down low, all alone. Couldn't get it to drop.
The worst part about that is right beside him was another Brampton A's player, both boxing out the London Lightning players. There was no chance that anyone other than a Brampton player was going to get that rebound.
Clinton Springer-Williams coming into the game, replaces Manuel Little.
Not often we get to see both Londoners in the game together.
Akeem Scott on the inbound. Fresh shot clock for the A's. They're up 40-26 here. Great shot from Kyle Johnson.
Kyle Johnson's having a great game so far. There's not much more defender can do than what Clinton Springer-Williams did.
Di Loreto slips through the Brampton D. Clinton Springer-Williams, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds, I believe. So the A's get
Definitely
possession
out
again.
Of bounds. I don't know what it is. Is the gap between the three-point line and the outline smaller in London or something? We seem to see that a whole ton, almost every game.
Kyle Johnson stripped. Mims with it. Off to Springer-Williams. That's Al Stewart. Can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line.
Again, when Al Stewart, he gets his body into that defender, he's able to attack that and get them into some foul trouble. Now we're looking at the A's. They've got more fouls in this quarter than the Lightning again. It's 4-1. So that's something that maybe not right now, but later in the game, Brampton's going to run out of players who are going to be able to play without fouls. They've already got 4 guys with 2 fouls on them in this game.
Flynard Whitfield steps in here for the Brampton A's. It means that every single A's player has now touched the court. Got a deep bench there too.
Whitfield was gone for a while too with injury. He's just sort of working his way back. He could be a great post threat, but apparently the rust is still there.
Maybe he hasn't got enough practices in there. Hey, that's all right. His team's got a big enough lead. I'm sure Magley's not down his throat yet. Stewart up to Mims, and it's good.
Mims is having a great game on the interior. He's providing some toughness that the rest of the Lightning roster isn't really showing much of in terms of playing on the inside.
Scott.
Bryson. Sprayer Williams did a great job of getting around those screens to keep up with him. Johnson, a much faster player than he is.
4 seconds on the shot clock. This is Scott. He's going to take it for 3. It's no good. Collected by Stephanie Barrett.
I like that possession from the Lightning. Great defense.
7 minutes to go in the second quarter. As always, we'll have What's Cooking with Bill Evans at halftime. If you didn't get your fill of Bill off the hop, you'll get more at halftime. And a scramble. Springer Williams keeps it in. DiLoretto for 3. Oh!
He can make that shot, and I know Bill's probably overjoyed to see it. DiLoretto, one of his favorite players. He's just smart, and he makes the safe play. He was in the right spot at the right time, and the ball found him.
A foul there. Barrett and Whitfield getting involved. What a play from the Londoner here in front of a decent London crowd and in an important game. 6.5 left in the first half. Scott on the inbound. This is Kyle Johnson. Flynard Whitfield from distance drains it.
Al Stewart got caught in the spin cycle there, looking around for someone to defend. Flynard Whitfield able to take advantage. Again, he's working out some rust, but before his injury, he was a very productive player for the A's.
Phillips goes to ground as see Theo Davis being matched up against Marvin Phillips, and who knows, maybe even Whitfield's a guy that you could toss in against Phillips defensively.
Well, Whitfield has the athleticism and they're similar sizes. I definitely would like to see more of Whitfield guarding Phillips. If Whitfield's ready for that, this is only his second game back from the injury. And it was game 2 that was his first game back. And in that game, he only played maybe a minute or 2, which was just to sort of get his feet under him. I don't know if he's ready for Phillips yet, but if he is, that would be a huge boon to the Brampton A's.
Marvin Phillips drains the second shot, makes it a 10-point game, 44-34, 6:14 left in the second quarter here at Budweiser Gardens. Ashton Smith taking it down here for Brampton. To Whitfield. It's up against Sefton Barrett. Creative pass there to Kyle Johnson. He'll reset this offense. 6 seconds on the shot clock. 2-1. And they're not going to get it off in time. Big stop for London.
And London's starting to get some stops together here. This is a good way to come into this. I think that's a media timeout.
It is a media timeout.
Yes, okay. I thought Magley might be calling it. I was going to say that's a little preemptive, but I like what the London Lightning are doing defensively. And as we were talking about, the A's are not as hot as they were in that first quarter. So we're starting to see them and their shooting come a little bit back down to earth. It's still ridiculously high, but they're not getting the shots that they necessarily want. I like that London isn't scrambling either. That's one of the ways the A's were taking advantage of them at the end of the first, is they tend to get a little scrambly on defense. This time they're a little more controlled. I love the minutes DiLoretto's putting in. Bill was spot on when he said that he's safe, because he had nothing to write home about in terms of explosive plays or anything, but he just made the right move every single time. London's they need more points. They don't really have a lot in this quarter at all. In fact, they've only got 12 in the quarter. They need someone like Hart. They need someone like Horton. They need someone like Jennings. They need someone like Barrett. One of those four to sort of catch fire. I'd look to Barrett specifically. Barrett's had a fantastic series, and I don't think he's gotten a single touch on the offensive end yet. They've completely phased him out, and I think that's a mistake. For Brampton, their offense was clicking. I don't like the amount of stops for them. But if their offense can keep clicking a little bit more, you still have a 10-point lead to work with. It's certainly not anything to panic over. So look for Brampton to keep doing what they're doing, London to do the exact same. There's not a whole lot of adjustments to come out of that immediate timeout.
Well, you look at the five that are out there for the London Lightning. You've got Al Stewart, Sefton Barrett, Phillips, DiLoretto, and Jennings. I mean, they all, in theory, can shoot a three. And that might be something that London will be looking towards here as we get closer to halftime. Stewart misses, collects the ball, moves it off. There's Sefton Barrett. No good. Stewart with another rebound.
I have no idea how Al Stewart at 5'10", almost the amount of rebounds he gets at that height is ridiculous, because he's in a forest of men. He's somehow able to end up with the ball.
Ashton Smith takes it up. That's Edmondson draining. Stewart takes it back up. Stewart in a forest of men. I thought that's a good way of describing it. I mean,
the tall trees. They're
tall
trees.
Yes,
they're tall
trees.
Players.
Yeah. Stewart into the corner. This is DiLoretto working across, and he steps out of bounds as well. So yet another out of bounds call in that back corner.
They have played on this court before. The dimensions didn't change.
Well, it's happened for both teams. I mean, in every corner so far, it seems. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left in the second quarter. No good here from Brampton. A little forced there. Now Stewart moves it across for London. Ellis. Wide open. That's Edmondson for three. Big cluck there from Oliver. This is Zane Johnson for three, and it's no good. Why not another one? Edmondson again. No good. Tipped out, and London finally get the ball.
I like Jennings slowing the pace here. I thought Al Stewart should have done that on their last possession. Don't shoot that, Marvin.
Jennings. Or sorry, my apologies, Sefton Barrett with it there. This is Al Stewart. Takes the double team off to Jennings in the corner. No. Oh, collected there by Marvin Phillips.
Jennings needs to stop doing, for some reason in this game, he's been a spot-up three-point shooter, and that's not his game at all. Brampton is more than happy to let him take those shots.
DiLoretto for three. This is that one. Brampton finally get a touch in the ball. This is Ellis on the charge. Gets it to drop.
Great play from Akeem Ellis. He's one of the vets on this team. He's got a great resume, having played in the D-League for quite a while and put up some good numbers there too. In fact, he actually played for Paul McKeskey, the assistant coach of the A's, with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers of the NBA D-League.
3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Jennings finds a hole, fouled.
And that's more of what I want to see from Jennings. I know he didn't get the basket there, but you get them in foul trouble, you attack the rim, that's his game. Use your shot, use your ability to drive to set up your shots. Don't use your shot to set up your ability to drive. He's not a jump shooter. He's working on it and he's better at it, but he's not a jump shooter yet.
So Jennings, 2 shots from the free throw line. Akeem Scott comes in the game, replaces Ashton Smith. Meantime, looks like we've got Little and Lazaire as well coming into this game for London. 48-36, Brampton still with the lead here. 3 minutes until half. Jennings makes good on the second shot. Ellis for three.
Total heat check. Total heat check.
And they're going to call a foul against Oliver by the looks of it. So 48-37. Brampton with the ball, or sorry, London with the ball rather. Trying to get up on Brampton here.
I want to see London attack, get these guys in some foul trouble.
Jennings up against Zane Johnson. Oh, what a play from Jennings.
And that's what Brent Jennings can do. He saw the mismatch in Zane Johnson. Zane Johnson wants nothing to do with interior defense. And Brent Jennings took advantage with some smooth moves on the baseline. Just a brilliant layup.
Ellis charges. And they're going to call a foul there, no basket.
Maybe Akeem Ellis heard me questioning his game too, because he's playing like a man possessed right now. He's feeling it. Good for him to keep it going.
Wait for Ellis to come back to the line here. 48-39, 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in this second quarter. Ellis averaging 16 points per game against London, well above his regular season average. He's been a big performer for the Brampton A's, and certainly a deep team as well, something that London's having trouble with. Again, Brampton has had all of their players touch the floor already this game. And we're not even into the third quarter. Ed Hort takes it across. He's marked there by Hakeem Scott. This is Sefton Barrett. Ooh, big block there from Oliver. Brampton get possession, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Scott moves it across. He's fouled. So Brampton with 6 fouls, London now with 4. Al Stewart coming in. Ed Horton coming out.
DiLoretto and Zane Johnson getting into it a bit.
Edmondson keeps possession, finds Zane Johnson in the
Saw
corner
up and
for
down.
3. Edmondson gets the ball back. This is Scott for 3. That one's good.
Just some tough breaks for London.
53-39, minute 40 on the clock. DiLoretto charging. Oh, what a play from Enrico DiLoretto.
I love the energy and the game that Enrico DiLoretto has had so far. They need to get him some more looks because he's having a really good game.
Hakeem Ellis having a good game as well. 12 points for him. He tries to dish and ball fall out of play off of London by the looks of it.
Jennings just about took out Mims along the baseline there. Mims just having a little sit down and Jennings almost fell into his lap.
Just trying to stretch the legs out. Brampton with a big lead, 53-11. 9 seconds of the shot clock. Jennings on the interception. He'll lug the ball up. Minute to go, 12 seconds of the shot clock. Oh, what a play as Little drains.
Ball movement from the London Lightning's much improved right now. They need to do a bit. So game now. London's doing their best to keep up, but they need to get some big stops.
Oliver, now to Ellis. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ellis takes it up, and that's his 14th point tonight.
Well, Akeem Ellis has just completely taken over this game. He's having by far the best game he's had this series. He's only 2 points away from having his series high, which was 16 game 1. He's 2 points away, and we're just now ending the half. After that,
with the circus shot, and I'd venture to say he's going to go to the line here, take 2 bonus shot. That's a foul against Zane Johnson. 55-43, Brampton with the lead. London with a chance to cut into it.
If you're the A's, you got to start worrying right now about Brent Jennings sort of getting more aggressive, being willing to take the ball to the rim, and that's something you don't want him to be able to do if you're the Brampton A's. And another foul on Brampton. Some of their guys might start getting in foul trouble early in the second half.
But good thing for Brampton is they're just so deep.
Yes.
I mean, they have so many options. Everyone's touched the floor. I mean, everyone's sort of an equal contributor in a lot of ways. As we see Akeem Scott lugging it across, 7 seconds left here. Scott for 3. It's no good. So the first half of Game 3 in this Central Division semifinal goes Brampton 55, London 45, and Bill Evans is back.
It's just like we discussed before the game. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
well, I mean, feels like we just talked, but lots has changed since last time we talked. I guess your initial reaction, Brampton shooting the lights out to start. London getting a couple stops, but again, Brampton's offense just too hot to handle.
They are, and it's something you just got to weather, because Brampton, they'll make 10 threes in a row, then they'll miss 10 threes in a row, and you just got to hope the law of large numbers turns out in your half. But just watching the game, I spent about a quarter and a half not looking at the scoreboard. I was amazed that there was a 12-point split. Yeah. I didn't think that the game was that wide. I mean, London was playing okay, Brampton was playing okay. And at the beginning of the game, both teams were really, really nervous, and you could see it. A lot of sins of omission, not sins of commission. Like it was like they fumbled the ball away, or they're standing on the sideline, and oh my God, I didn't look where I was. You know, those are the signs of nerves, and both teams were exhibiting some of that. I was surprised to see London exhibit it.
So London actually outscored Brampton in that second quarter, 25-23. Second quarter, a little bit different from the first. London got a couple stops, as I mentioned there. Anything that you saw, I know Enrico De Loreto coming into the game, I know you were high on him, and he's really getting a chance to perform.
Yeah, I talked to Enrico before, and I was talking to you guys before the game. If you did up Enrico's stats for Game 1 to Game 31, and then looked at what he did in the playoffs, they don't match up. I mean, Enrico's playing great. He's out. He's giving positive minutes. He's shut Zane down basically. I mean, he's following around like a shadow. And he got a 3. That's bonus. We don't expect points out of him. Play hard defense, and he's doing it. And he hasn't made a dumb decision on the court. And he didn't make a dumb decision off the court on Game 2. This gives somebody rest. It gives the London bench rest. And when Enrico was out there, London was positive against Brampton. So, Enrico, bravo, buddy. Keep up the good D.
Yeah, so, Brampton have had the lead for the majority of the game, and I know you're looking for them to play a little smarter.
I think so. There was the ones, it's almost like, I wrote this down, and then it was like they saw the notes I made. They came down. There was nobody playing defense. The guy hoisted up a 3. They got a lucky rebound off it. Threw it out. They threw up another 3, missed that. Got it out. Threw up another 3, missed that. And the end of the ball went the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I refer to things like the stupid stick theory. I mean, there's probably 10 different things you could do there. Why did you do that? You're a smart guy. You're a good basketball player. So I'm assuming there's a secret visitor in here, and I'm calling them the stupid stick fairy. And every once in a while, they swoop down on a player, and unbeknownst to him, smack him.
Smack him in the head. So matchups have been big in the first two games.
And it continues now. The matchup game is alive and well, and for me, it makes the game really exciting to watch. Partway, about 4 minutes into the second quarter, Brampton was starting to get a little momentum, and they had Granado out there and Clavel Johnson, and Knox went short. He threw out Springer Williams. He threw out Enrico. I think Ed Horton might have been certainly a little. And so they went fast against Brampton's big. Brampton answered London. They didn't decide to say, okay, we like our big against your fast. They immediately took Granado out, put in another small fast guy, and they matched London, even though they were ahead in the game. So I think Maggs is trying to play it smart. I really, really do.
Yeah.
He's got the lead. He doesn't have to take chances. London throws out a lineup, throw out the lineup, the defense is that one. London changes, just keep changing, just keep your defense strong and force London to beat you. So what's Knox going to do? Knox has to break the game down. I'm sorry, Marty, I'm doing all the talking. But Knox has to break the game down into, like, I would say 4-minute segments. There's only 10 points down, and 5 points is nothing. So break it down into 4-minute segments and win each 4 minutes. You want to be ahead 6 points with 2 minutes to go. I know we haven't talked about the referees at all, and I don't think we should spend any very much time on the referees. They're doing as good as they can.
Yeah.
I don't see any bias from them. So if they make a bad call, they made a bad call. I've never seen a coach coach a perfect game. I've never seen a player play a perfect game. I've never seen a ref a perfect game. If you ignore the refs, just try to get into a situation where an unfortunate call by the ref isn't going to be costly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's that. As far as the refs are concerned, that's all I have to say about the refs.
Yeah, and I mean, lots of fouls called in this one as well. And
there was some good off ball.
Yeah. Go ahead and talk about that. I know you like to focus on the referees a lot. Just watching them and seeing how they react. I guess their performance tonight, lots of calls, and you're right, lots of off-ball stuff. Different stuff that at least they're keeping an eye on.
Players are not used to being called for a defensive foul when they're not guarding the ball. And twice in the first quarter, I think it was twice in the first, at least once in the first and second, once in the second, they got called for off-ball defensive fouls. And they looked at the referee like he was from Mars, and it was the perfect call. It was a good call, and it's a game control call. If the chippiness is going to start and get the game out of hand, the chippiness is going to be off-ball.
Yeah.
It's going to be like I've made a pass to Chris, and you're still covering me, and we're running into the corner, and we're snapping elbows, and that's where the game gets out of control. And I think the refs watching their zones and making a couple of off-ball calls. No, it's good. The referee's fine. You're not going to change the outcome of the game tonight.
Final question: advice for both coaches in the second half. I know you sort of touched on it a little bit. Anything in particular that really sticks out to you? I mean, it's tough if you're Carlos Knox.
I think Coach Maggs is going to continue to match whatever Knox throws out. I think Knox is going to continue to throw out Springer Williams and Enrico for a few minutes to get his good players rested. If he can get Enrico out against Zane for like 4 minutes, then Hart can come out and play Zane. Hart's fresh, Zane's tired.
Yeah. All right.
But the leader plays smart. The guy behind is the one that might have to take a chance.
Sweet, Bill. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow afternoon. Thank you very much, Bill. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Again, the score at halftime, Game 3 here in this series between London and Brampton. Lightning, 45, Brampton, 55.
Brampton's taking a shot. He's been itching for it all night long. Oh, man, this is a moment right here. That beautiful Dodge Challenger sitting over there. So, Brampton, just a few minutes, you're going to be taking a half-court shot for a brand new car. And don't worry, Phil, just for coming along, we've got prize back for you to go home with. So, thanks for coming out down the floor with us here at Game 3 of Budweiser Gardens. So, Philip, we're going to go over the rules really quickly for you. You cannot cross the half line with any part of your body, even your hand. Are you ready? Brent's ready. He's on the court. Give him some love, folks. He's shooting for a car.
Canadian linen and uniform service, with everything from uniforms to linen to floor mats and more, we're your one-stop shop for all your textile needs. Whether you're a small operation or a large corporation, we have a service for you. With locations from coast to coast, including right here in London. We have the strength of a national company with the convenience of a local supplier. Call today and one of our professionals will be happy to provide a no-obligation quote. 519-686-5000. Canadian Linen and Uniform Service. People you can count on. Culligan is the official water supplier of the Lightning. Their water, pure and simple. Visit culligan.ca.
He's the father. The parents. And they're two like what do you expect?
Hello and welcome back to Budweiser Gardens. Third quarter just about to get underway. London versus Brampton. The Brampton A's have a 55-45 lead. London starts with possession. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth. Series is tied 1-1. It's a best of 5. Granado on the block there. Phillips draining.
Good hustle by Phillips. He's sort of tapered away during the second quarter. He's going to need to wake back up for London to have a shot here.
Good start for London. Scott off to Bryson Johnson.
Random fact, but Marvin Phillips, that's his first made field goal, and he's going to have 9 points in the game.
Hard to believe. Little. Marvin Phillips for 3. His second field goal.
Marvin Phillips waking up. Big-time players show up in big moments, and it doesn't get much bigger than this game.
And just like that, it's a 7-point ball game, 57-50. Bryson Johnson. Kyle Johnson here. It's good.
Kyle Johnson's had the hot hand. I'm surprised they didn't go to him as often during that second quarter. They might want to feature him a bit more in this offense. Oh.
Emmanuel Little takes a tumble. He's right back up.
I like that the refs didn't call a foul there. I don't think that was. It was just some contact.
Oh, easy does it for Granado there. Make it 61-50.
Granado, again, London has troubles with these big centers. Granado has an opportunity to have a big game here.
Jennings. Got Mims there in front of him. 7 seconds on the shot clock, 10-17 left in the third. Al Stewart to Mims, cuts in, and that's going to be too late. Shot clock violation.
I think London outplayed themselves there, just got a little too fancy, kept trying to find the perfect shot, and they didn't really have time to do that.
Brampton out-rebounding London by a lot, 26-18. Al Stewart leading the London Lightning with 2 offensive rebounds. Stewart, another rebound here. Jennings for 3, misses.
Attack that. You had the defender closing out on you. Why not attack the rim?
Cavell Johnson with the slam. And good time for a timeout for Carlos Knox, 63-50.
Cavell just adding some thunder to the Lightning right there. That was impressive. Brampton's got it going right now. They just need to keep it. And London has to figure out some sort of way to stop them. That Cavell basket was way too easy. The lane was completely wide open. And, you know, just about anyone could dunk it with that much of a runway to work with.
Of course, after outscoring the A's 25-23 in that second quarter, the A's now outscoring London by a total of 8-5. And, you know, London with that good start, and it's evaporated. They really need to keep this going on the offensive side of the floor for sure.
Well, the thing about the Cavell basket that scares me is as much as London's had a rough first half, their interior defense was fine, and that Cavell Johnson play there makes me think they might have overcommitted to protecting the outside, because Cavell had so much room to work with on the inside there.
63-50, an explosive start to this third quarter for sure. 9:38 on the clock. Of course, Carlos Knox calling that timeout. And London Lightning coming back out onto the court. 63-50. London in white, Brampton in red. Today is Game 3. Tomorrow will be Game 4. That's at 2 p.m. here at Budweiser Gardens. We'll have it here on YouTube, of course. You know, that's going to be an elimination game for one team, and it's incredible to think how quickly this series could be over after being knotted at ones for so long. Back-to-back games, one of these teams could just be out. You see Al Stewart giving Granado some lip. That's, I believe that is 5'10" against 6'10", so that's a full
A bit
foot.
of a mismatch there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Usually don't see the heavyweights and the flyweights fighting.
9.5 left in the third. Hart. This is John Hart wide open. Oh, tries to dish it. Collected here by Little, 4 seconds of the shot clock, and here comes Brampton. Bryson Johnson off to Kyle Johnson. No good there with the acrobatic layup.
They got numbers.
John Hart for 3. Misses.
That's not the one you should have taken a 3 on.
Al Stewart leading this team here, taking it down for 2.
Al Stewart knowing exactly what they need to get done. It's almost a bad thing when Al Stewart has a ton of points, because almost every game where Al Stewart has had a ton of points, it's because nothing's working for the Lightning and he feels like he has to do it.
Granado, he's fouled, and he's gonna take a bonus shot here. 63 to 52.
The inside is just opened right up for the Brampton A's.
One shot coming up here from Granado. And Lazar comes in here for London, replaces Marvin Phillips. Interesting move from Knox.
He wants the height of Lazar there to help match up against Granado. Granado's had a bit of a free rein early to start the second half.
'66 to 52. Al Stewart, you can tell he's fired up. Just pushing himself off Bryson Johnson there. John Hart on the fade, and another clunk.
John Hart hasn't really been hot since the first quarter. He might want to stop taking so many shots.
He strips the ball from Granado, and that's an easy call for the referee.
That might be an unsporting foul too.
Bryson Johnson just sort of latching on to John Hart's arm. And that'll just be a regular foul by the looks of it, no unsporting.
Hart's still flexing that shoulder, making sure it's good there. That looks like his right hand. That's his shooting arm too.
Ed Horton preparing to come on here for London. He is going to replace Al Stewart. 8:21 left in the third. 66 to 52. London are down. Chance to cut into this lead a bit. First one's good.
Now keep an eye with Ed Horton on the floor. We've been seeing Emmanuel Little as the primary ball handler when Horton has been on the floor. I don't know if I like that. Little can turn the ball over a bit much as the primary ball handler, considering he's not really used to it. And Ed Horton has point guard experience.
Keem Scott pushes his team ahead. They're up 66 to 54. Cavell Johnson up against Lazar. Now this is Kyle Johnson, collected here from London. Ed Horton still with it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He charges. They're going to call a foul as Ed Horton goes to ground.
Meantime, we see London having success when they charge the basket. It's just there hasn't been a consistent attempt to do so. They need to get all 5 players on the floor committed to something, and that something should be attacking.
Theo Davis comes in and replaces Granado. This is going to be London's 26th and 27th attempt from the line here tonight. Compare that to Brampton, they have 8 shots in total.
You know, earlier I was talking about Marvin Phillips having getting his first field goal after 7 points. Ed Horton, this is going to be number 6 and 7 points for him, and he has yet to shoot a field goal.
Keem Scott off to Kyle Johnson. Try to keep you updated in the fouls category because you've got Bryson Johnson. He's got 3. You also have Ashton Smith. He's got 3 on the Brampton side. What a play there from Keem Scott. Another and one.
Right now it's just a case of the Brampton A's are making plays that the London Lightning can't right now.
Brampton now shooting 54% from the field.
which is just nuts. I know this is a good shooting team, but 54%. That's a little better shooting team than I thought they were. It doesn't help that London's only shooting 37% themselves.
68 to 56.
Get moving.
Ed Horton still ushering his players around here. He's going to cut down low, takes it up, and it's good for 2.
I thought that could have been a foul there. Ed Horton just sort of lobbed it up there. You could almost count the Mississippis in between the time it left his hand and the time it went swish.
Scott. And they're going to call a foul. Looks like it's going to be against Sefton Barrett.
Sefton Barrett just got caught being a little too handy when covering Cavell Johnson there, slapping some hands there.
.14 seconds on the shot clock, 6:51 left in the third. Inbound, off to Bryson Johnson. Hakeem Scott.
Good defense. Lazaire did a great job. Cavell tried to draw him away, and Lazaire didn't fall for it, and he was able to be there to take away, I believe it was Scott's lane to drive.
Horton. 6.5 left in the third. Dishes it off to Lazar, and that is a foul against Theo Davis.
Great attack, and that's 2 straight plays now from Lazar that have been excellent. That time, he made himself open as Cavell overcommitted, and when Lazar finally did get the ball, Cavell had no choice but to foul him, otherwise it was a clear path to the rim.
Ashton Smith coming in, he'll replace Hakeem Scott. Meantime, you've got Cavell Johnson coming out, and Akeem Ellis will replace him.
Again,
6:20.
No one really in foul trouble right now for the A's, but they're getting a little bit close right now. Got to make your free throws.
Zara misses his first. And then on the London side, when it comes to fouls, you have Sefton Barrett with 3 and Al Stewart with 2, Marvin Phillips with 2, but that's pretty much it. But again, as you mentioned, starting to rack them up. Lots of players with 2 fouls. You got Akeem, Kyle Johnson, guys that play significant minutes for this Brampton A's team, and certainly suck to lose one of them. So Brampton keep possession there. We're going to say John Hart tipped it out. Zane Johnson coming in, replaces Bryson Johnson. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Wide open down low. Oh, somehow tipped there. Davis, I don't know if he just lost grip of the ball.
No, Lazaire got it.
And they're going to say it went out off of Brampton. So good defense there from Lazaire. I mean, positioning-wise, he was wide open down low, but stopped the basket. 6 minutes to go in the third. 68 to 59. London just closing this gap. Lazar, yes!
These are some amazing minutes from Lazar. Wow, he's had a great second half here. This is the second big that they've needed off the bench. Phillips has had to do too much work.
Ashton Smith to Zane Johnson for 3. No goods. And what's the call here?
I think they're going to say over the back on someone on the Lightning there.
So 68 to 61, 5:30 left in the third. And Brampton are going to make some changes. Looks like Edmondson's coming in. Ashton Smith. Ooh, that's looking good. No good there from Ellis.
This would be huge for the London Lightning. They need to cut this lead down to something salvageable by the end of the third. They need to get I would say they need to get some points here if they want to stop any sort of run from Brampton.
Ed Horton, no. Oh, nearly gets it there. Lazar's got it. Tossed it up. What a play from Lazar!
This is the best game Darnell Lazar has had as a member of the London Lightning, and we knew he could do it. He averaged double-digit points his entire career in the D-League, and now that he's a little more comfortable in the Lightning system, he's been fantastic in this third quarter.
Zane Johnson with the answer back.
How many times have we seen this in London when it comes to just deflating a building? Zane Johnson seems to always make threes at the worst times for his opponent.
71 to 63, all that progress made by London seems to be gone. And that's a good play from Horton. He'll draw the foul.
Still being aggressive and still getting some more fouls on these Brampton A's players.
4.5 left in the third quarter. So you got Marquez Oliver coming in here for Brampton. Theo Davis coming out of the game. So Ed Horton at the line here, 2 shots. He's gone 7 for 8 from the line so far tonight. Make that 8 for 9. And Horton quietly having a good game. He's now up to 10 points. Drains this will be 11. He's just 1 point behind Marvin Phillips for 12 points. That'd be the team lead in that category.
Again, shocking the two of them have done it with barely making any field goals. Horton specifically.
John Hart, bounce pass. Oh, what a slam from Barrett! 71 to 67. Timeout, Brampton A's. And finally, this crowd gets loud.
What a play from Sefton Barrett. Good thing that the A's took a timeout there, because this crowd just about blew the lid off of this building. That
What
was
a
incredibly
slam.
impressive. Coach Magley screaming at the refs. Really unhappy here, but that was exactly the kind of play the London Lightning needed. Now they've brought this lead to within 4. It's up to Brampton now to do something about this run, because the London Lightning have all the momentum on.
22 and 16. That's how much the London Lightning have outscored Brampton so far in this third quarter. We've got about 4.5 left to play, but fantastic dunk as well, because you had that defender coming on his left side, and even though it looked like it was a windmill dunk, sort of showing off, it was a great move to keep away from the defender.
Well, not just that, but you look at how good defense that the London Lightning had on the other end just leads to that transition basket. And we know from Coach Knox's interviews, from everything he said about this team, from the system he runs, that this Lightning team is deadly in transition. And the way they've cut into this lead in the third quarter has been excellent. And we're seeing the shooting of London. We didn't expect it to stay as low as 37%. And we didn't expect the shooting of the Brampton A's to stay as high as 55%. And we're starting to see both numbers come back to the middle.
All right. Brampton trying to take the wind out of London's sails. We'll see if that timeout works. Ashton Smith to Akeem Ellis. Playoff basketball, can you feel it? It's tipped around, and that's going to be a foul. Ashton Smith with the shot attempt.
See, this is even worse for London than if there was a Brampton basket, because it just completely saps the energy that was in this building just right out of it.
So Smith with a chance to add to Brampton's lead. Another interesting thing from these past 2 games is Brampton only shot, I believe it was around 66% from the line, 67% from the line over the first 2 games. Tonight, they are perfect. They're 8 for 8 leading up to this sequence here, so make that 10 for 10. Ed Horton, again, barking orders, and ball falls out of play.
Jennings thought it was for Lazare. Lazare thought it was for Jennings.
Simple as that. Carlos Knox, not a happy man. 73 to 67. Smith.
Too easy.
Wide open there. That's Oliver.
I don't know what happened, but 3 Lightning players, 2 of them were on Johnson. A third one came over, and none of them switched to cover Cavell Johnson there, so way too easy.
Jennings along the baseline, tosses it up. And they're going to call a foul here. It's going to be intercepted Barrett.
I would think that has to be over the back.
So that's going to be Barrett's 5th foul. Team 6th. So he's really the only London player in any foul trouble right now. Ed Horton with 3 right now. Would have never thought a London Lightning player would be the first to hit 5 fouls in this game, but such is the case. Tyshawn Edmondson.
Where is the interior defense? London was doing so well with it, and then they've just completely gone to sleep. I want to see a guy like Phillips or Mims in the game right now, because they need someone to lock down the inside. Well, Phillips is in the game, pardon me, then put Mims in.
Phillips, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Edmondson on the interception here. He's going to fakes the pass to Zane Johnson. Here's Zane Johnson back to Ashton Smith. 2.5 left in the third. 10 seconds on the shot clock. And Oliver gets it down low again. He'll chip it out to Zane Johnson for 3. And Marvin Phillips wins that ball. Finally.
Hurry up and cross half.
Jennings. Got Marvin Phillips to his left. Jennings charges. Yes!
Brent Jennings so good at attacking the rim. It's where he's had success for most of the series. It's good to see him going back to it.
2 minutes left in the third. Smith. Ooh, this is Akeem Ellis for 3. And Oliver with a big offensive rebound. It's going to fall out off of Brampton. So 1:44 left in the third, 77-69. London charging within 4, and then it's dropped off a little bit for the Lightning. Al Stewart coming in, replaces Ed Horton.
Those are great minutes from Horton. At the point guard position, considering how important it is to have a solid point guard, to get those kind of minutes from Ed Horton has really helped to somewhat close this gap.
Lazar, foul. No basket there, of course. 1.5. Lazar will go to the line.
Foul charged to the A's number 21, Marcus Oliver. That's his 2nd, and the team's 6th. To the line.
77-69. Another crucial trip to the line here for the Lightning. Shooting about 80% from the free throw line. Both shots good from Lazar, make it 77-71. Both teams on 6 fouls.
Again, I like having Lazar and Phillips in the back, or the front court together there. Lazar has a bit more length and Phillips can handle the speedier guys. Phillips against Akeem Ellis is an interesting matchup. Both are fairly similar players.
Ellis.
This is a mismatch though.
Up against Lazar.
Got to attack him.
No call. Marvin Phillips wins the ball, charges down the court. Oh, somehow Jennings gets it. No foul call.
What a magical pass from Marvin Phillips to find Brent Jennings, though. That was incredible.
Oh, Ashton Smith gets down low. Marquez Oliver can't get it. We'll give it off to Zane Johnson. 4-3. Yes, Zane Johnson.
There's that deflation shot right there. The pesky 3 that Zane Johnson just able to nail. He does a smart move, doing the fake and then stepping to the left.
80-73. 35 seconds left in the third. Jennings again! What's going on? Brent
Jennings has gone beast mode, and this is exactly what they needed from him. He had 22 points in game 2, and specifically in the third quarter was a huge difference maker for this Lightning team. He's coming on a little bit later than we're used to, but the fact that he's starting to score is huge for London.
13 seconds on the game clock, now 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ellis up against Lazar. Again, that mismatch.
Shot clock violation.
So 4.6 on the clock. I think that will likely go up to closer to 5. London get possession here. A big stop from the Lightning, 80-75.
And I said it was a mismatch for Lazar, but he has handled it beautifully. Akeem Ellis, a much quicker player, but Lazar is someone who I didn't think had that East-West game, has done an excellent job of keeping up with Ellis.
5.7 seconds here. Hart takes it up, misses. So the third quarter will end Brampton 80, London 75. The Lightning bring it within 5 points. Would you have predicted that coming out of halftime? I mean, especially the fact that they came within 4, lost it, and then they're right back in it again.
Well, London's shown great resiliency so far, and they've done an excellent job of limiting the runs of the Brampton A's in that third quarter. And it's so important that they're going into this third with only a 5-point gap now, as opposed to the 10 we saw for almost that entire game.
It's going to be a big fourth quarter. If you're Carlos Knox, what are you telling them? I mean, third quarter worked out for them. Second quarter worked out for them too.
Keep doing what you're doing. They've done an excellent job of keeping up with the Brampton A's, and with the A's scoring as many points as they have. If you had told me at the end of the first quarter maybe that they'd be able to outscore Brampton 30-25 in that third quarter, this has been absolutely critical. And not only did they hold them to 25 in the third quarter, they held them to 23 in the second quarter. If you eliminate a 12-point run in that first quarter, this is a tie game. And that's what London has to be telling themselves. It's like, outside of that first quarter, which was a mistake, it was bad, we all know it. But if they're gonna continue to win this game, they've won the second and third quarters. They know that what they're doing is working. They know that what they're doing is the right move. They just need to make sure they stay the course and look out for adjustments from Coach Magley. You know he's not happy. But also I'm seeing the Brampton A's starting to mouth off a bit to the refs. They're starting to lose their cool a bit. If they don't keep their composure, this foul situation that they're already in could be completely magnified, because if the refs start thinking, you want to talk to me, well, you better not commit a foul, then the London Lightning could run away with this. Here's what Brampton needs to tell themselves of. You can't control the refs. You can control the way you're playing. So if you lose your composure, if you let something you can't control be the reason you're losing, that's not going to work. Reffing, no matter how you feel about it, whether you think it's fair or not, which I'm guessing the way Coach Magley has been yelling at them, he doesn't think it's fair. Whether it's fair or not, you have to just ignore it. You have to make sure you do what you can do to control. And we saw Brampton shooting a few more long-range twos, which we know they can get in trouble doing. That's something they can control that they were not doing well. That's something they need to improve. They can't go into that huddle saying the refs are blowing this for us. It's just not fair.
80-75. It's a 5-point game coming into the fourth quarter. Game 3 of the Central Division semifinal. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth here. It's been an exciting game. Lots of exciting shots, especially from Brampton. There's guys like that, Akeem Scott. Up to Cavell Johnson on the baseline, and it's good. Brampton.
Not. Cavell Johnson has his highest scoring game of the series with 8.
Yeah, not what we expected from Cavell for sure. Phillips over Granado. It's tipped around and it goes in.
I think Cavell knocked that into his own rim there.
I look like Little might have got a swat in there too, but they immediately credit it to Phillips. We'll have to see how that works out.
Hey, when things are going your way.
Battle down low and a big swat there from Emmanuel Little.
They're going to say London ball. They're going to say that Cavell undercut Mims, I think it was, going after that ball.
All right, 82-77. London with the ball. They're going to make a change. Ed Horton's going to come in. Al Stewart's coming out.
And this is where having 2 veteran point guards who know how to control a game is so helpful for the London Lightning. Both Horton and Stewart have an absolute wealth of experience at the point guard spot.
Ed Horton gone to line 5 times already tonight. Has only taken 2 shots. Jennings Up against Akeem Scott. Marvin Phillips wide open for three. Misses it. Now that's Emmanuel Little. Who's got it? Little does. We'll try to draw the foul. We'll say it goes out off of Brampton.
I don't think that was out off of Brampton. I think that was out on Little. But Tom Granado did an excellent job of just getting straight up and down there. As Megan McPeak would say, like a sheet of paper. By getting just the arms straight up, perfect defense.
Phillips can't get it to go. 10:40 left in the game. Kyle Johnson on the fade. He's been money all night. Not good on that one. Brent Jennings slowing things down here for London. They're in their home whites, Brampton in their away reds. And game 3, game 4 will go tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Series could be decided then. Series tied at 1. It's a best of 5. Ed Horton for 3.
And Ed Horton has been that missing element for this Lightning team. Other than John Hart, there were no true three-point shooters on this roster after the Zane Johnson trade. That's why Ed Horton has been such a key for this team, because he's able to knock those shots. And we've seen him go off with that shot before.
2-point game. Decent passing here from Brampton, but London get the ball back. A big stop.
Elvin Mims, great job getting in front of that pass. He read it all the way.
Horton. Marvin Phillips in front of him. Up against Granado. That's a mismatch. Horton somehow gets it through. There's Little. Tie game.
What a series of fortunate events for the London Lightning. Granado had great defense on Ed Horton again, straight up and down. But Ed Horton somehow got that shot away.
Granado with the slam. Make it 84-82, 9:14 left.
Granado's had an excellent game. I think if I'm the Brampton A's, I give him the ball and just bully the London Lightning down low.
Jennings again slowing it down. Horton, 14 points from him. He's double teamed, now off to Mims. Lots of space. That's Mims' shot, he couldn't get it. Cavell collects it off the backboard. Granado! Oh, they're gonna call that against London.
Yeah, I don't think he had his feet outside of the arc there.
It was close though, very close.
Again, Granado having a very big impact in this game, one we haven't seen from this series. Granado has had big performances before. He had a 20-point game back in February. So he's a guy, maybe you look at game 4 and you say, you know, Tom Granado's been able to have a lot of success here, and even for the rest of this game, you might want to start thinking about drawing up some plays for the guy.
He started every single game against London so far this series, in 1, 2, and 3.
And again, it's one of the things looking at the Lightning roster, if there was something I would exploit, is that there's no true center on the entire roster. Lazaire is probably the closest thing, but I don't know if he can stand up to a bigger guy like a Granado or out in Windsor, DeAndre Thomas.
Granado subs out here. You've got Marcus Oliver coming in. Al Stewart back into the game. The marshal of this offense. 86-82. London down but not out. Hart cuts around. Stewart. Jennings on the baseline. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Cuts around. Passes up the hook. It's no good. Brampton get it back. Bryson Johnson moves it across. Bunch of players in motion on this side. No good air balls at Oliver. No, put in there from Kyle Johnson.
Again, there was only one guy fighting on the inside there for London. They need to make sure that interior defense is there. There are 3 Brampton A's and 1 London Lightning player. Something's not clicking.
Stewart. Mims.
Oh, he had Hart.
Phillips.
So it's Phillips.
Now back to John Hart on the fades and collected again by Brampton. This is Akeem Scott on the run. They're going to say no foul there. That was Al Stewart on defense.
I'm surprised that they're saying there was no foul there. If I were a referee, I might have called mugging on London right there.
And Akeem Scott takes the time to tie his shoes. 88-82, 7.5 left in the fourth. Magley having a chat with the ref. You mentioned that he didn't look too pleased with some of those calls there, especially in the third quarter.
But you know what? Magley talking to the ref like that, I don't know exactly what he's accomplishing, because I think the refs have probably tuned it out at this point in the game. And all it does is slow the pace, which benefits London right now.
Scott off to Akeem Ellis. They're going to call a foul against Elvin Mims. 7:29 left in the fourth. 14 seconds on the shot clock here. A's on the inbound. They're up 88-82.
This is the point in the game where you need someone to emerge as a go-to option down the stretch. Right now, you need someone to catch fire, and it's looking a lot more beneficial for London with the way they're playing right now.
John Hart with it. 7-10. Mims in front. He's battling with Ellis. He gets it. It's tipped around. Collected there by Bryson Johnson. Oh, bounce pass. This is Oliver.
Oliver just latched on to Phillips' arm there. That's a good call to call that one a jump. Possession arrow in London's favor.
Sefton Barrett coming back in again. He's sitting on 5 fouls. He replaces Elvin Mims. Sefton Barrett been a key part of this London team, both game 1 and game 2.
Well, as I was mentioning, they're looking for someone to catch fire right now, and I think that's why Sefton Barrett's in this game. We've seen him do it before. Maybe Coach Knox hoping that Barrett can be that guy who lights it up.
Hart dump. This is John Hart for 3. Stewart collects. Fresh shot clock. Phillips out of Sefton Barrett. 6:24 on the clock. Jennings. Oh, he strips. And they're going to say it went out off of London.
Yeah, it hit Jennings' foot. The A's player there, I'm not sure who that was, I think it might have been Ellis, swallowed the ball, and then when Jennings took a step back to try and collect, it bounced off his heel there.
6:17. 88-82. Seems like no one scored for an eternity. Maybe it'll happen here. Akeem Ellis for 3. Yes.
Akeem Ellis is having his signature game here against the London Lightning. That'll be 17 points for him. The guy who we were wondering if he was which Akeem Ellis we were going to see, the game 1 Akeem Ellis or the game 2 Akeem Ellis. And looks like we got a little more game 1 and then some.
Jennings trying to get things going off to Barrett. Al Stewart. John Hart. 4-3. No goods. And a long pass here to Oliver. John Hart collects it, but that did not look good. He fell on his shoulder and maybe the back of his head. And he is on the floor rolling.
There's nothing soft about that impact there. Wow.
He's up, but we're trying. It looks like he's
I think
got
he
his
went
right
straight
arm
on
there.
his straight on his rear there, which can sort of hurt the whole spine there.
Looks like the right arm is affected there. Sort of holding it. 5.5 left in this game. John Hart back up. He's good to go. Insane stuff from John Hart and a great defensive play to knock that away from Marcus Oliver, who was all alone there.
Well, it's playoff time, and talk about giving up your body to make a play right there. That hurt.
Rightfully so. John Hart will take a seat on the bench. Looks like Ed Horton will replace him. So it looks like this might be the media timeout here, if I'm not mistaken. So another minute and a half of time for these coaches to talk it over with their players. And London still doing well in this fourth quarter, but Brampton, just that clutch shooting making the difference. They've been shooting lights out tonight.
And almost every time London's thrown a punch their way, there's been just a spot-on counter from the Brampton A's. Their changes to their system throughout this game have been excellent. They made sure that London doesn't get anything easy. And they've had that little bit extra. For everything London's had, Brampton's had an answer. And it's just that little bit extra. You know Brampton wants this series. Right now when we think of top teams in the Central Conference, Brampton's right there, but Windsor and London have rings. So that's why at Brampton, this series could be huge for them because they haven't won a playoff series yet. This could be their time as a franchise to sort of define themselves.
Of course, these two teams met in that semifinal last year. That went all 5 games and ended with a controversial call, but that series was awesome. That was an incredible series, and you know, it's impossible to pick between these two teams.
And it's almost a shame there was that controversy about the goaltending, not goaltending call that was in that game, because that was a fantastic series, and it almost took away from how good the series was, because all anyone could talk about was one call in the game, which was unfortunate. It was a great series. It was a great battle. I think we got another one on our hands this year.
5.5 left in the fourth. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher in the booth. London Lightning and Brampton A's on the floor. Phillips up against Hakeem Ellis. What a battle. Phillips will be fouled. He'll take a trip to the line.
I think at this point right now, London needs to get a run going, or else they might be coming back here tomorrow night with a 2-1 deficit.
2 shots coming from Phillips, 91-82. 5 minutes and 20 seconds of basketball left here in Game 3 of the Central Division semifinal. We should just talk a little bit about what else has happened in the league. You've got Mississauga getting a game on Windsor, so that series now 2-1.
The Island Storm.
Yes, so
what a series that was.
Yeah, so the Island Storm edged St. John 3-2 in that final. You can go ahead and watch it on YouTube. It was an amazing finish. Then you've also got Halifax over Moncton 3-1. But we'll go back to that Windsor Express Mississauga series, because you know Windsor, you know, probably going to win that series through their one of the better teams in the league, as we see Hakeem Ellis drawing the foul. But good for Mississauga to get that one game. I know Toot Rouch had a great game, the Canadian.
Well, a certain intelligent writer for NBL CNET, I don't know who that might be, happened to predict that series right there. But Toot Rouch, really the story from that game, had 48 points, which is the NBLC playoff record. It's the highest single game total anyone's got during the playoffs. And it's actually the second if we include regular season games, aside from 56 points from Devin Sweetney during the 12-13 season.
Hakeem Ellis, 5 minutes to go. It's good. 93-84. Brampton with the lead, London with the ball. You've got Ed Horton lugging it up here. Marvin Phillips for 3. No. Loose ball. And there's the jump ball. It's going to go London's way, or Brampton's way, sorry. .440. Smith. Finds his way in, and Marvin Phillips fouled him before he could get to the hoop.
Just sort of grabbed his arm there. Would have been an easy basket for Smith, so make him earn it from the line.
So Ashton Smith goes back to the line here for Brampton. They've only missed 1 free throw all night. 14 for 15. They've now missed 2 free throws all night.
That was a jinx and a half right there, Marty. Well done.
I could have just said the percentage and no one would have said anything. Over 90% from the line. Very impressive stuff from Brampton.
I would have to think we're leading the league in jinxes among the broadcast crews.
It's a tough stat to calculate, but Yeah, I think you're right. 4:25. Phillips. Back to Horton. 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Great defense from the A's here, keeping them straight to the outside.
Big
and then
swat.
collapsing very, very well.
Big defense there from Brampton. Another stop. 4 minutes to go. Oliver. St. Johnson on the far side. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Swatted there from Phillips. Needed that. 2 seconds on the shot clock here from Brampton. Got to be quick. Inbound coming. Oliver couldn't get it. And that's going to be a timeout for the London Lightning. So 94-84. It's a 10-point differential here in the fourth quarter. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth here with you. And Brampton still shooting the lights out. I mean, that's really been the story of the game. But if you're Carlos Knox, what are you telling the Lightning there in the huddle?
Make your shots. I know that's not exactly some brilliant coaching strategy right there, but the London Lightning is shooting 37% on this game. You know, this is a game that they're going to look at and say, this got away from us. London had every ability to be a contender in this game, but again, the shooting just not there. 25 of 66. It's a pretty ugly shooting stat. You know, a lot of their shots were makeable shots. They got a lot of the ones they wanted in the early going, and they didn't make them. John Hart, Marvin Phillips, just not the prettiest stat line. Marvin 3 of 11, and Hart 2 of 12. Just not a whole lot going on for them.
10-point game, 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in game 3.
There you go, Budweiser Gardens in London Lightning Dance Pack. Don't forget you can purchase game or jersey.
Of course, game 4 will go tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Here at Budweiser Gardens, and then game 5, if it's necessary, will go on Saturday, which is sort of interesting. You got a whole nother week from game 3. A lot of these series have already wrapped up, and there's a good chance that with Windsor taking on Mississauga there on Tuesday, that should be wrapped up as well. And that's out of bounds off of the A's. So it'll be fresh.
Off of London.
Sorry, off of London, so that's a fresh shot clock. So they go from having 2 seconds to 24 to try to add to this 10-point lead.
That's a lot more time.
It's true, it is. You're not lying. Smith. This is St. Johnson for 2. He has been explosive tonight. The former Bolt doing it for the A's, 96-84. Phillips. Backs into Oliver, gets it to go.
Where was that earlier in the game? We've seen Marvin Phillips hovering around the outside for the majority of the third quarter. He needs to be attacking the inside.
Ball falls out of play. Brampton will get possession. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ashton Smith on the inbound. Edmondson with him now. Edmondson misses. Smith on the big offensive rebound. We're now down to 3 minutes in this game.
And now we're talking about over a minute of clock killed by the Brampton A's just in this one possession here.
Well, they managed to strip the ball there, but Brampton keep it. Oliver spins. And they're going to call a foul against Marvin Phillips.
Either Phillips or Little.
It's going to go against Emmanuel Little, so apologies for that. So London now with 6 fouls, and starting to add up here for London as well. 4 fouls for Emmanuel Little.
Maybe Coach Magley talking to the refs about the fouls actually worked out. 6-2 for I guess Brampton's favor, but London with 6 fouls.
Oliver to make it an 11-point game. And Al Stewart coming in. Emmanuel Little coming out.
I think they went a little too long without having Stewart in the game.
Still lots of time for London.
See, I don't understand why Horton's the primary ball handler here. Al Stewart is not exactly much of a shooter or threat to score as Horton is. He should be the guy coming down the floor with the ball.
Barrett. Hopeful shot, to say the least. And that's going to go out off of Brampton.
Oh, refs are going to talk about it.
They're going to reverse their call. So the A's on the inbound. Full court press coming from the Lightning. They need it. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Ellis with the circus shot. And Brampton crossed the century mark.
Sorry, my apologies. Player to hop over 20 points too. That's 21 for him. Wow, what a game he's had. London
just no answer for the shooting.
Silly pass.
That Brampton have brought here. This is St. Johnson. Blocked, and they're going to call goaltending.
That's the right call. London has completely let this get away from them. They had this was a game they could have won.
And now Brampton have crossed the century mark and have really pulled away. 15-point differential. Not much else to say. As you mentioned, London had the chance. They tied up the game. They brought it within 2 as we see Al Stewart getting the N1.
Again, usually there's something wrong when Al Stewart scores. He really only calls his own number when he feels like no one else has anything going.
Al Stewart at the line, taking his bonus shot. Meantime, Brampton making his change. Zane Johnson coming out. Kyle Johnson coming in.
You know, this is a visiting court. They're coming off a 20-point loss. The resilience of the Brampton A's to come out here and put out this performance can't be understated. This is probably, in terms of their franchise history, one of their bigger wins, just because of what it means. This is the first real, I would say, straight dominance from bad odds. They came in, they had just lost by 20 points. They didn't really have a whole lot going on in that second game. They come into a London building that's almost always loud, almost always packed, and they put on a show. They did it. They executed everything they wanted to do.
And not a whole lot of turnover until tomorrow's game. You've got pretty much no time. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a practice in tomorrow morning. I mean, are they even going to? You've got such a little time span to make those big adjustments, and how do you think that's going to affect the London Lightning? Have to come back to this building at 2 o'clock tomorrow to take on the A's again.
Well, I think the big difference is the lack of time to make those adjustments. There was such a big gap between Game 1 and Game 2, then Game 2 and Game 3, that the coaching staffs for both teams had enough time to really come up with something. Now, all of a sudden, you're on a clock. As soon as this game's done, I have a feeling Coach Knox is pulling an all-nighter tonight. Like, you're going to have a lot of prep to do in a very short amount of time.
Minute 52 on the clock. Brampton are going to win this one by all accounts. I mean, London keeping it interesting, but with how Brampton have been shooting, it's hard to see them just dropping that cold. London are going to need some help if they want to come back into this one, and I really doubt Brampton, to drop even a third of their shots at this point. You see Ashton Smith giving around. This is Hakeem Ellis. 5 seconds on the shot clock, minute and a half left. Ellis tosses it up. No good. Oh, somehow gets possession.
This is a perfect possession for Brampton.
Another shot clock here. Ellis cuts in, and there's going to be a foul. No basket, of course.
They need to announce that?
Yeah. I just want to make sure the people at home know that, yeah. It was not a basket.
Well, you're right to announce. Apparently the in-house need to tell us too.
So Ellis goes to the line here. 101 to 89. His Brampton A's have a significant lead here late in the fourth quarter. How was this game sized up to game 1 and 2? Obviously, London dominating game 2, Brampton dominating game 1. You see any similarities or differences there?
Well, I'd say it's similar to game 1 in that Brampton came out to a roaring start, and then they just played stable basketball to keep it within the same gap for pretty much the entire game. They never really lost their lead at any point. They came out strong and they finished strong. It's a case of two teams came out here with high risk, strategies where you're either going to win by 20 or you're going to lose by 20. And in this case, Lightning leaning towards the lose by 20 side.
Minute 17. Clinton Springer-Williams into the game. Enrico Di Loretto as well. Good to get the London players back out there again. Another foul call. And even though this has been chalked up as a loss, I mean, a good performance from the Londoners. Di Loretto getting a clutch 3 there, as we see Kurt Alexander also coming in, but Clinton Springer-Williams playing significant minutes as well.
It's almost like a double cheeseburger. It was a boring bun in the first half, a boring bun in the fourth quarter, but then you got the delicious patties in the middle.
How much time do we have left in this game? We're talking about burgers. Okay, 103 to 89.
The concessions up? No, I'm kidding.
Keem Ellis lugs it across here for Brampton. Minute left. You gonna bring burgers tomorrow? I hope. Maybe we'll have a barbecue. Oh, now I'm hungry. Okay, Kyle Johnson takes it up. Ooh, big rebound here from Brampton. Clinton Springer-Williams collects. Di Loretto for 3. Ooh, just misses it.
Di Loretto's a guy I'm surprised has only played 10 minutes. They were 10 really good minutes. I want to give him some more shine in the next game.
So I'll just about do it. 26 seconds left here on the game clock. And they're going to whistle this one down again. So I usually wait till, the end of the game to ask you this, Chris, but final synopsis from the game, both from London and from Brampton's point of view.
Brampton came out here with a strategy and they executed. London has some good counter punches in the second and third, but the Brampton A's just had an answer for everything London was able to do. It was really a coaching battle, and Coach Maggs, there's a reason he's considered one of the best coaches in the league. It was honestly a really good game. The score is not indicative of the play we saw on the court at all. It was a lot better than that. So London has some changes to make, obviously. They don't have much time to do it, and they're going to be playing for their lives tomorrow.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, especially all the Brampton fans listening. This is going to look really good to you guys. A big win in London. 105 to 89 is the final score. The Brampton A's step away with the win here at Budweiser Gardens in Game 3 of the Best of 5 NBLC quarterfinals. So for Chris, myself, and everyone on the broadcast crew, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be right back tomorrow afternoon. Game 4 could be an elimination game for the hometown London Lightning. So again, final score, Brampton A's 105, London Lightning 89.
with 38.